Okay, this is our video for section 4.6. 4.6 we're going to split up into two parts. So the first part we're going to talk about parallel lines, and then in the second part we'll get to, perpendicular lines. Okay, so we're going to take these one at a time. All right, so with parallel lines have the exact same slope. All right. So if I give you the equation of two separate lines, in order for you to know if they are parallel, their slope has to be the exact same number. All right? So if it's positive 2 on one of them, the other one's got to be positive 2 also in order for them to be parallel. Okay? Really quick here, if we're in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, which one of these numbers will be the slope? M. So whatever number is in front of x, all right, that's the number you need to look at. So let's look at a few examples down here so we can get into the groove of things. We need to name the slope of the line that's parallel to the given line. So number one, this is the equation of the given line. If we had to find a new line that was parallel to this one, they'd have to have the same slope, because if they're parallel, they have the same slope. So what's the slope in this equation? 2. Okay, so the slope for our new equation would also have to be 2. All right, number 2, what's the slope in this line? Negative 3/5. So the slope of our new line would also have to be negative 3/5. Okay? Now let's look at number 3. Number 3 is not in slope-intercept form. So we've got 3x plus 2y equals 7. Let's subtract 3x to the other side. And we've got 2y equals negative 3x plus 7. That's a positive 7. Divide everything by 2. And we've got y equals negative 3/2 x plus 7/2. Yes, leave everything as fractions. Okay? So if this new equation is right here, circled, what's the slope? Negative 3/2. So the slope of our parallel line would also have to be negative 3/2. All right, hopefully this is starting to make sense. So let's go down here and start some problems. We need to find the equation of a line that goes through this point. So this is an ordered pair. Let's call this x and this y. And it is also going to be parallel to this equation. Well, the only thing that we need from this equation is the slope, because we know that if they're parallel, they have to have the same slope. So all we need to pay attention to is that. Everything else in that equation is irrelevant. All right? So what's the slope we need? If they're parallel, it's got to be the exact same. So negative 3/4. What's our x value? In our ordered pair, that would be negative 4. And what's our y value? That would be positive 4. All right, so we're going to plug these three things into a new equation that is also in slope-intercept form and solve for b, just like we did before in section 4.3. And then once we have b being our y-intercept, we can write a new equation. All right, so we have y equals mx plus b. Let's plug all of this information in. So y is 4. 4 equals, what's m? Negative 3/4. What's x? Negative 4. And I'm going to write that as a fraction, because if this is a fraction, having this as a fraction also will make the math a lot easier. And then plus b, which is what we don't know. We need to solve for that. So let's see here. We have 4 equals, when we are multiplying fractions, multiply straight across. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12, divided by 4 times 1 is 4, plus b. So we have 4 equals 12 divided by 4 is 3 plus b. And how do I solve for b? Subtract 3. So b equals 1 because we have 4 minus 3. All right. So now what we need to write our new equation is just b and the slope. All right. So the equation of our new line is going to be y equals negative 3/4 x plus 1. All right, because it's y equals m x plus b. Okay. Let's do another one, 64. Come on, papers. Okay. We have another ordered pair. We need to write the equation of a new line that goes through this point, so x, y, and is parallel to y equals 4. Let's think about this for a second. Y equals 4. That's going to be a horizontal line that goes through the y-axis at positive 4. All right, so just on a side note, it looks like this. Okay, y-axis at positive 4, and the line would look like this. Okay, so that's the graph of this line right here. All right, so what is the slope of this line? What's the slope of a horizontal line? We know that it's 0. Okay, and then our x is in the ordered pair 3 and y is 0. So let's plug these things in and solve for b. We have 0 equals mx plus b. M is 0 times x, which is 3, plus b. All right, so 0 equals, well, 0 times 3 is 0 plus b. Looks like b is going to be 0, guys. Okay, so let's make a new equation. Our new equation is y equals m is 0. So 0 times x plus 0, because that's what b is. All right. Well, this is going to be really easy. 0 times x is 0. It doesn't really, even though x is a variable, it doesn't really matter what x is because anything times 0 is 0. Oops. So y equals 0 plus 0. So y equals 0. All right. So this is going to be a horizontal line at y equals 0. So basically a horizontal line right on top of the x-axis. Okay. Let's flip over. Got a couple more on the back. All right. We need to write an equation again. We have a line that goes through negative 1, 4, so this is x, y, and is parallel to negative 4x minus 3. Once again, remember, the only piece of information that we need from here is the slope. Everything else is irrelevant, so our slope is negative 4. X is negative 1, y is 4, and that information is in the ordered pair. Let's plug it in. Y equals mx plus b. Y is 4 equals mx. Negative 4 times negative 1 plus b. Let's do the math and solve. 4 equals negative 4 times negative 1. Two negatives make a positive, plus b. And let's solve for b, so subtract 4. Oh my goodness, it looks like b is going to be 0 again. All right, so let's use these two pieces of information, our b and our m, and write a new equation. Y equals m is negative 4x plus b, which is 0, and you guys all know that plus 0 doesn't really matter. So the equation of this line is going to look like this. All right. Where are we at the time? All right, I'm going to call it right here. I want you to try the last 3 on your own just to get you kind of started. Oh, this one photocopied bad. Let me help you. In number 66, the slope is negative 7. All right. and this is X, and this is Y. So use those numbers to do this problem the same way we've been doing the last 3 examples. Number 67, you can see that didn't photocopy bad. That's 7/5 positive. And in number 68, that did kind of cut through. So that's negative X. If there's no number in front of X, what is it? That should be -1. All right. So don't forget to do these last 3, also the summary questions. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.